Welcome to the Startup Passport by eConsulate. Today we're at the Upstream Festival and I'm joined by Ernst Hoestra. You are the CEO of Erasmus Enterprise. Thank you very much for joining. Would you mind telling us a little bit about what Erasmus Enterprise does?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Erasmus Enterprise is effectively the entrepreneurship center for the entire Erasmus University. So we're based on campus, we support students, but we also support alums and we support academics to really go into the support base for their entire entrepreneurship journey. And that means from inspiration, activation, up to funding, and we also facilitate in the different levels that we try to push the entrepreneurship at university.
And that means you're also trying to be rather practical with this, or to have also a practical approach, because I feel like some entrepreneurs say they might have studied entrepreneurship, but what really gets them going is the experience that you get in the field. So how do you see the aspect of university on the one side, but then on the other hand, getting the practical experience in the field of entrepreneurship?
That's a great question. This is also about experience and explore type of activities. So there's a couple of E's in there that you sort of engage as well with the teams. So what effectively we do in practical sense is that we offer challenges like the Erasmus University Challenge, but also the NL Startup Competition and a bunch of other programs where people get inspired. And they do this outside the normal curriculum. So even a student that is doing entrepreneurship, studying a master in entrepreneurship, for instance, they might still be not the best entrepreneurs versus, let's say, an economic student who has the aspiration to become an entrepreneur. And also for all those flavors, we support those students as well as the academics, so the PhDs and the professors, to explore that part. You know, that little spark they may have around entrepreneurship. How can we sort of make that bigger? You know, how we light up the fire effectively with our services.
And do you think there's a certain aspect or character trait that an entrepreneur must have, or to be to have the potential of being a successful entrepreneur? Is it more of the idea that you have, or is it more the motivation maybe that comes out of it? Do you think there's one particular thing or a certain aspect that is more important than other aspects maybe?
Yeah, there's a bunch of those. So a entrepreneur has to be a little bit stubborn, right? They have to have that level of risk taking as well, and so you should be willing to go up and beyond type of thing what is normally required in a usually daytime job. So we help them also to give that a bit of structure. Just being enthusiastic is super nice and it's very helpful. But there's also a certain level of perseverance because you'll have setbacks along the way. So we prepare them also for those type of steps. And in general, if you see the entrepreneurial DNA, it is about risk taking, but it is also about the drive that people intrinsically have. And one of the things that is also there sort of for a person that they need to be, adjusting to the reality. So they might have a brilliant business idea, so we don't go for the brilliant business idea, we go for the person that is willing and able to take that along.
And you mentioned risk, of course. And how do you see the gap between taking risks, but also at the same time not putting everything on one card? It might also be that an entrepreneur has an idea, but also has to finish a study still, but maybe then the study takes up a lot of time, but the idea takes up a lot of time. So how do you see the potential of bridging this gap so that entrepreneurs can take certain risk, but maybe don't fall behind if something is not working out?
Yeah, in general, what you see, what I always like to share also with the people that I coach as the entrepreneurs, that it is also a process. So innovation by itself has many steps about validation, checking whether your assumptions are really right, and if the assumptions are not really right, then you have to change them, or you need to start a new validation process. By exploring, you can use social media, you can do different type of engagements. But then also knowing that these steps are proven, so you move from one step to up to the product market fit, and then you can build on your growth. So we always encourage the people that it may be a good idea initially, but it has been devalidated because there's nobody willing to pay, for instance, for that typical product. Yeah. So either you have to stop or you have to really pivot So change the business model in order to be back on market reality. And by itself, so again, innovation, entrepreneurship is a process. So if you follow those guidelines, it's very good. It's very feasible to combine it with studies or with other parts of your career, up and until you get that full product market fit and you go for the growth, right? And then you can still make the choice, but then you have it validated.
Do you think that everyone can learn how to be a good entrepreneur, or do you think sometimes it's better if you have an idea to match up with other people to essentially become a co-founder of your own idea, to cover other bases by people that are better at other things? So do you think everyone can become an entrepreneur, or do you think some people are also just simply better with a sheer idea generation, and then they need to partner up with other people to make the idea big?
No, I think, there's a couple of layers in there, but in essence, you always think about a team, right? So when I would invest, or my co-investors would invest in something, they're always looking for complementary skill base in a team. Yeah? So that is truly important, because things might go south, right? There will be roadblocks, hurdles, whatever type of thing that people will run into. So in that situation, you need to have multiple people with multiple skill sets in a particular team. So anybody who says, I need to be the single founder, 1 in 1,000 may be successful. But usually, if you want to draw that equation again, it has to have a great team. Yeah. So then still it's 10 out of 100, but it is also there to increase the chances of success. You need that complementary skill base in any type of support and founder team. And this is also, I usually, but also my funds, they don't invest in single founders.
And then essentially you think university is a good opportunity to build your team, and then also what opportunities do you have at Erasmus Enterprise for that?
No, we're known for our business acumen, right? In essence, so we do a lot of obviously business school, economics, legal. I would say a little bit the hardcore of the social studies. But essentially, then still it is hard to convert that into successful entrepreneurs, right? Although many of our alums are quite successful entrepreneurs. It still requires a different skill set. So we support that journey. So people, if they're super interested, obviously we take them along in that journey. And so far we see, every step along the way that we can support that, and bringing that back to a student founder, for instance. Hey, they have different type of choices. They can start working for a big multinational. They can start working for government, for an investment fund, for a consultant. But also their entrepreneurial skills do help in any of the endeavors that they will make anywhere in their career. Because you validate something, you test something, but you also stop with something that it not necessarily have a big chance of success. So if you apply that into a project for working for a corporate, it still makes sense that you can sort of be more successful in your career with entrepreneurship skills.
It's a very interesting insight, especially for young entrepreneurs. Thank you for sharing these and for sharing about your work with Erasmus Enterprise.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.